Ah, it appears I have guests with very interesting destinies. I am Cobra Commander TFW, and it is a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. Now you may wonder what this place is. It is a place that exists between both YouTube and Blip TV, between dream and reality. Now you also may wonder what I'm doing here. I help guide those interested in buying Japanese toys between what's good and what is not. And today I have something very special for you, deep from the personality of someone very special. But I do also sense a dark presence coming very soon. Something we should all be prepared for, I feel. In any case, I think it will be very interesting to see the outcome of these events. Don't you agree? But until next time, please enjoy this little sequence of moving pictures. And until then, we will meet in the near future. So long. So here is the Diart's Izanagi figure from Persona 4. And for those that didn't know, Persona 4 is a game and an anime which you really should check out, trust me. And again, if you didn't know, Diart seems to be connected in some ways to the SH figure art line. So you know you're going to be getting a good figure out of this. As usual, first we'll have a look at the details on Izanagi, and it's no real surprise that the people who are connected with the SH figure art line are putting out a really good mold. And come on, look at it. You can tell this is really good. It's exactly how it should look. One cool little design feature of this toy was all of the belt buckles on his really cool long jacket, and these have been recreated again for the toy, and they're even on the collar as well. It really adds something more to him just wearing a big jacket. It gives it a bit more pop to it and a bit more colour as well. So that's enough about his details. Let's have a look at his articulation now and where to start. Well, let's first start off by taking off his stand by just unplugging it. It is just a peg, so he does have a hole in his back, but you know, that's how it goes. We'll start off with his legs, and unfortunately his jacket does restrict the leg motion a little bit. That's about as far as his legs will go out. You can get them just through the cape, but it's more like you can only get one through, so you can get it to go that far, and it does have a double jointed knee, which works quite well. Oh yes, he also has a joint here, so he can wiggle the lower half of his waist, which is kind of interesting. His thighs swivel a little bit. It's a bit finicky because of the cape, but they do. And oddly enough, the feet, which I didn't think should move, and originally I thought were broken, are on a little ball joint there. I don't know if that's accurate to how it goes, but you know, it's nice that they give you extra bit of articulation. The waist here has a lower wiggle joint. I'm trying to show you there, but it's a little stiff. And he does have an upper joint as well here, so you can really get him to lean and tilt. He doesn't do a whole lot of turning though, but he does, you know, enough for a human to do, I would imagine. And he does have the classic ball joint here, shoulder. So you can get his arm about that far up, and that's mainly because of the gold design, and they do swivel there, as I show you. So you can turn the arm at the top a little bit. He does have one joint, but because of how it's made, it goes quite far. The lower half of the arm does rotate as well, and the hand is on a ball joint, so it, you know, wiggles around and turns and all of that. The head is on a ball joint. And is extremely wobbly, but it can move around, and it's not like it's gonna fall out of place. It's just something you need to be aware of. It's, yeah, really wobbly. His headband here is on two ball joints. If I zoom in and show you, you've got one in the base of the head and then another one on the joint itself, so you can lift it up, and it's surprisingly solid. It's not like it's gonna drop out of position at all, which I was really surprised at. The arms do go all the way around, but I forgot to mention, but we'll plug his stand back in here, and that's pretty much all of his articulation, apart from I totally didn't show you how his arms move around, but, you know, you can get a lot of nice poses out of this guy. But he is limited a little bit by his jacket, but because he's so accurate, it doesn't bother me that much. And of course, he's a Japanese toy. So what's he come with, you may wonder? Well, he comes with these normal hands for being all calm and relaxed. He comes with these holdy things hands for holding things in his hands. And he finally comes with these open hands for being angry and grasping at things in the air. And of course, you may wonder with his holdy things hands, what can he hold? Well, he only has one thing to hold, and it's this, his big long dagger on a big long stick, which is really nicely detailed. And if you zoom in here, you can maybe just about see it's kind of got a serrated edge, which is neat. It's got these weird bandages all around the base, I guess to make it easier to hold. It looks really cool. It's got a really good design. I love how the Bandai silver on the top makes it kind of pop. But believe it or not, folks, that's not all he comes with. He comes with this weird, flamey, fiery, swishy effect, which is this cool, translucent malarkey. And if you get your sword here, we'll call it, it has this little hole in here, and you can shove it together, and it will click in if you get it in the right position. And here you go. It does make it a little bit heavy, as I try and zoom out. It makes it a little bit heavy, but it makes a really nice looking effect. And here's another effects piece, which is, I don't know, a fiery effect thing, which is kind of weird since Izanagi in the game is all about lightning. And I'm touching it here because it's kind of weird and sticky. I'm not exactly sure what kind of plastic it is, but both of these things have this weird kind of texture which kind of rubs off on your fingers. It'll be interesting to see if that affects it over time or not. And finally, we have his big one, which is the stand. It's basically a Tamashii stand, but with this really fantastic base to it, which, you know, this is a very Persona thing. This is on the back of all the Arcana cards. Oh yes, I'm throwing down some game knowledge here. So if you're a Persona fan, you will probably really appreciate this. And I would say personally, it feels a lot more steady than any of my other Tamashii stands. I've had no issues with needing to tighten the joints or anything. Izanagi has been great on there. And again, it's a really nice accessory to display him on. So that's it, really. And with the amount that he comes with, you can get him to do quite a lot of really cool things, and the stand definitely helps. You don't need to worry about having to buy an extra stand, which was always a pain with their Kamen Rider figures. However, I would say it would have been nice if they had actually included a lightning effect, since in the game, his main ability is to cast a spell called Zeo, which is, yes, lightning. So the best way you can get around that is by giving Great Mazinger's lightning bolts to him and just kind of fiddling around with it, I guess. It's hard to complain though, since you do get the stand with it, and it is a very good piece of equipment to have for a figure like this, considering that if you have to buy this separately, you're going to be spending an extra, what, 800 yen or more. But the real question is, should you go out and buy this figure? Well, yes and no. I would say yes if you're a fan of the Persona games, and you should be, but no if you're just thinking that this is quite a cool figure, on the basis that it does have some issues such as the legs and the bobbly head. And I'll be honest, some of the joints in the arms feel a little bit fragile. Not to the point where they break, but to the point where you want to not be too rough with this toy. But if you are a fan of the Persona games, or the Persona franchise, then I would totally recommend it, because, hell, the only other way you can get an Izanagi is statues, and why would you want a statue when you could have a posable figure with all these cool accessories? Even with some of the issues, I still think it was worthwhile picking up because, as I mentioned, I am a big Persona fan, and this figure totally scratched an itch I had for needing some Persona 4 figures, and it's going to push me into getting some more in the future. So I hope this video was useful to you people, and hopefully you'll tune in next time for whenever I do another video. Thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you later. Just a very quick final word, if anyone in America has a PSN account on the PS3 obviously, you can buy Persona 3 for only $10, which is incredibly good value. And if you want to have a tryout of a Persona game, then this is a great way to dip your toe into the franchise, as it were. Totally recommend it. Anyway, just wanted to let you guys know, and I'll see you next time.